Hey everyone, Rich again, just getting ready to do some automotive maintenance today. Working on my wife's Sienna. She's got a 2012 Sienna that she was telling me that when she's braking, she's noticing a shimmy in the steering wheel, which led me to believe that her rotors are probably warped at this point and in need of replacing. So since I was replacing the rotors, I also wanted to go ahead and replace the pads at this time because it's just good practice to go ahead and replace the pads and rotors all at the same time. What I did find online was some Bosch products that saw some decent reviews on. I got the Quiet Cast line of Bosch, and for the brake pads, the part number for 2011 to 2017 Toyota Siennas is part number BC 1324, and that's for the front brakes. And then for the rotors, I got the Quiet Cast Bosch product as well, and the part number for that one is a 5001479, and these are come each, and so you have to buy a set of two. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that we need to do is to go ahead and jack the car up and get it ready to work on. So the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and release the two bolts on either side of the caliper to get the caliper off. And this is a 14 millimeter bolt that you need to take off. I tried spinning this, and it's actually spinning this whole mount here, and there's actually a nut on the back side of it to keep it in place, so you have to get something pretty narrow because a regular wrench will not fit, a regular open-end wrench will not fit on it, but it's actually 17 millimeter. You have to have something pretty narrow to be able to grab that if it starts spinning. You just want to take the caliper off and then go ahead and set it up on top so that it doesn't hang, because you don't want it to hang by the hose here. And it might tear the hose. So just set it up there and get out of the way. And the next thing you want to do is go ahead and get the brakes off. Now we actually need to get this bracket off so that we can pull the rotor off. You're going to use a 17 millimeter socket to remove that. Okay, now you just remove this off. Set it off to the side, and then we take the rotor off. We've got the caliper bracket off and on the table here, and before we go ahead and replace everything, I need to actually change out these clips. The new brake pads come with a whole bag of clips for us to replace the hardware that's here, and also the clips that are actually on the pads themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's been, you know, these are the original ones. I don't believe I changed them the last time I changed the pads, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now just because I have them here, and they probably have a little wear on it, and it's a good practice to go ahead and change these out. So just need to get a little screwdriver to kind of unclip them, and then do one at a time so that you remember and trying to keep the same orientation that was there previously, so that you don't forget how the clip actually goes. So I'll do this one now. And I'm going to reuse these little wire brackets because they didn't come with any in this kit. So I am going to reuse these. So now we can just reinstall everything in the opposite order that we removed it, starting with the rotor. Being careful not to touch the surface of the rotor so that you don't get it greasy. You can always use brake parts cleaner if you do, but it's just best to try and be as careful as you possibly can. So now that that is on there and it fits nicely, no problems, we can go ahead and install the brake caliper bracket. Now that I have the bracket on, I want to go ahead and put the brake pads back on, but before I do, I want to go ahead and put a little bit of this synthetic lubricant, brake lubricant, on all the hardware pieces that touch the pads. Not on the surface of the pad, but just on the hardware where it can move around, so that it doesn't cause any brake squeaking. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, is just put a little bit of this silicone, well, I don't think it's silicone, but it's a synthetic lubricant that you just add to it. So I'll put a little bit there, and I'll put a little bit here, a little bit on the top of this, and some right here, some on the back side of the brake pad. I'm just putting a little on this side too. Okay, now that we got the brake pads on, we can go ahead and put the the little metal clips back into on the edges of the pads. So you just want to put one and one, and then put one right in here, and then kind of bend it into place for the other hole in the pad. Like that. And now let's install the brake caliper. So the last thing you want to do once you've got the car on the ground is to go ahead and get a torque wrench and make sure you torque them all to 75 foot-pounds. Okay, the last step to making sure that this is a safe and complete install is to go ahead and take it out around the block or so and give it a test drive and see how the brakes feel, and just confirm that everything is installed properly. So at this point, I call this project complete. I hope this is helpful to you. If you have any questions about the particular install or your install, if you have things that come up, shoot me a question in the comments below. All right, take care.